Hey, YouTube world, we are back. I tried to do my best turkey impression today. Just thought I'd bring that up since you probably were going to notice that. Download all of our podcast episodes below and our previous YouTube videos. So, Zion Williamson, his former agency wants to kind of indict him in court for breaking NCAA bylaws and what would ultimately destroy the reputation of Duke more than Zion, which is strange because these allegations that, you know, his mom and dad asked and received payments from Nike and Adidas in order to steer Zion towards Duke. First of all, I thought, isn't this what Avenatti went to prison for? Like, I thought this was kind of public knowledge at this point. Like, this was what he got in trouble for trying to extort Nike. So that part was a little strange. But secondly, I don't think anyone cares at this point. Like, public opinion has changed so dramatically that anything the NCAA does is just instantly met with criticism from the people who are working around them. And it's crazy to me to think about, oh, here we are at a stage where the NCAA may have to act and Coach K may be in the thick of this, but there is nothing that is really gonna get people stirred up about this because public opinion has shifted. And you finally, congratulations to all the pundits who were pro college athletes getting their money and public opinion shifting, is the fact that from 20 years ago to now, it's like night and day. And when you hit mainstream with bleep the NCAA, bleep Mark Emmert, bleep these universities that take money from the kids and maintain and uphold amateurism, now that you have the public opinion shifting on that, there is no chance for the NCAA to get Zion Williamson or Duke with anything, because the chance they get, public opinion is going to go right the other way. And there's always going to be, you know, the rivals who are going to use this to take down Duke and hurt on Duke. But Will Wade, Sean Miller, if you watched HBO's The Scheme, I recommend it immensely. They couldn't get in trouble for any of that stuff because the NCAA didn't want to touch them. Kansas has been hit with violations time and time again. They don't want to touch them and try to stir up this debate and this controversy about the NCAA bylaws that people don't agree with, but, you know, they're in their last days considering the public opinion has shifted, but for now, they don't want to bring down schools. They just want to keep them doing whatever they're doing so they can uphold their model of amateurism for the, you know, 95% of prospects that aren't good enough to be recruited by agents coming out of high school. So what do we see from that respect is the fact that this is probably not going to go anywhere. I thought this was already public knowledge, and it really undertones just how much public opinion has shifted on the whole amateurism NCAA rulings, is the fact that now you look at what Zion Williamson is doing there at Duke and getting paid, which obviously all the top prospects are getting paid the money that they deserve when they go to college. Seeing that case and then seeing the combination, it's really changing the public perception around that. And if Coach K does end up having to testify as part of this case, now it would be good to note that this will probably end in a settlement, because this gets underway because Zion signs a contract with one agency, gets lured away by Creative Arts Agency, which is like the big sports agency out in Los Angeles, gets lured away, signs with them. The other company's fighting for damages worth about $100 million. They'll settle. This whole case will go away because ultimately that's what Zion's former agency and the lady who put out the allegations, quote unquote, because they're NCAA bylaws, it's not a crime. The lady who put those cases out was focusing in on the fact that this is a reputation damaging possibility, and we can use this to our advantage in fighting the legal battle. So most likely this gets settled out of court without Coach K having to take take the stand or potentially perjure or reveal the underbelly of the Duke program. Not surprisingly, probably had knowledge of it, don't really care. Other people were doing this. Shoot, his top assistant coach and one of his best recruiters went to Pitt. You think Pitt's not doing that stuff now, or at least that guy's subsidiaries aren't doing the same thing? It's all part of the system that is existing, and because shamateurism wants to maintain and uphold that persona is the reason that this is a story. But public opinion has changed, and these stories are no longer stories. The NCAA doesn't want to touch it. The fans don't want to hear it. I think all's well ends well. I mean, the ultimate win is if they do away with shamateurism, but all's well ends well right now for Zion, for Duke, and all of these people involved. But the allegations will, I mean, it's a news story in a very dry time. So things will turn out well for all of them. And if there were ever a time for these kind of things to come up in all of the history of the NCAA, this is the time. Because you're not going to get the punishment that you would normally get before, or the public opinion that just kind of shames you out of the sport, like it's done for Reggie Bush and Chris Webber and Marcus Camby and high-profile guys like that.